Hello friends, I was curious to know what happened to the Russian ship Arctic Metagas, which was attacked by Ukrainian naval drones that were reportedly launched from the Libyan coast by special operators. And well, here it is, still adrift, after the attempt to tow it to a safe port in Libya failed. The authorities of that country dispatched the Altamar, Mardiva, and Juliana tugboats to continue working on the salvage of the vessel, which has become a danger to navigation in the area, but represents a complex problem for the rescuers, since it is still loaded with a large amount of gas. Meanwhile, at the front, a nighttime meeting of invaders is abruptly interrupted by an FP-2 Mosquito with a 30-kilogram warhead. I don't even want to imagine how far that incident escalated. It's interesting that the tourists didn't notice what was about to happen. I wonder if the Mosquito glided the final stretch of its attack. In any case, it seems that not only Ivan hasn't learned anything in this war, since the United Kingdom's Royal Armored Corps published this video of their forces training. If they did that on the Ukrainian front, they'd probably never see Big Ben again. Just like this invader from the Invaders Telecommunications Corps, who will never return to Mordor, since he was forced to climb a tower to install data signal repeaters, where he was intercepted by a Mosquito. In another area of the front, an assault orc tries to perform a brilliant evasive maneuver that almost fooled the Mosquito. On April 7th, the Unmanned Systems Forces launched a series of attacks against targets in the areas occupied by the Horde, behind the front lines, including a new raid against the fuel depots at the port of Feodosia, which has been attacked multiple times and was hit again this time. Supply warehouses were also destroyed in the village of Sukhodilsk in Luhansk Oblast, which were hit multiple times and were engulfed in flames. Now we see what appears to be an anti-aircraft launcher, but in my opinion, it was a Z decoy. Afterwards, one of Linjabri's FB-2 Mosquitoes flies directly over the position of a Russian Tor air defense system with its crew. It doesn't manage to attack on the first pass, so its operator decides to turn around to approach from a better angle and thus be able to hit the invader precisely, which he accomplished completely. That wasn't the only thing Boom did, since they found what looked like a radar, although I also have the feeling it was a decoy. But anyway, it has to be deputinized all the same. Still. Finally, Linjabri visits a series of drone storage warehouses of the Horde in the Stefan settlement, Donetsk region. The site also received a visit from multiple FB-2 Mosquitoes, which made life very miserable for all the invaders working at the facilities. This is interesting. The grandson of General Patton, yes, the same one from World War II, is a documentarian who visited Ukraine, where he was invited to see a command center of the defenders. He tells what he saw. They took us to one of these secret sites, which is one of the 13 command and control centers, and it wasn't dangerous. We were about 50 or 60 kilometers from the front, but they put us in this van with darkened windows. So we went to this place that looked like New York Airport times 10, where there were more than 30 meters of LED screens with real-time statistics. Another motorcycle, one injured, one neutralized, whether North Korean, Russian, or in a pickup truck, Kalashnikov, a tank, and real-time videos of each elimination. So the whole country is completely synchronized, and this system is extraordinary. They all know what's happening nationwide in real time. On April 9, 2026, the operators of the 422nd Unmanned Systems Regiment, which has the remarkable name Luftwaffe, published 2 videos of their work neutralizing 2 locomotives used by Ivan, the train driver, to steal grain, to bring ammunition and supplies to the invaders in the area. The FP2 drones first hit a locomotive in a rail yard, which came to a sudden stop, most likely so the engineers could get out of the danger zone. In another rail yard, the reconnaissance drones had identified the presence of another locomotive, this time attached to a bulk train, so another drone, Quito, was sent. When it hit, it caused a fire that completely consumed the engine. But that's not all, because in another video published by the same unit, you can see a swarm of drones chasing a freight train that is pulling a convoy of bulk cars. The first impact doesn't manage to stop the locomotive's advance, so a second unit is sent, which achieves a direct hit that finally causes the freight train to stop. A campaign of attacks appears to be targeting railway transportation to stop Ivan, prevent Ivan from transporting stored grain from occupied areas to ports for export to third countries, as humanitarian aid to gain or maintain the support of countries that have trouble feeding their populations, most of which are in Africa. This is important, since the Russian cargo ship Volgovolt 138 caught fire and later partially sank in the Sea of Azov on April 5 after being hit by multiple Ukrainian drones. Given the level of damage to the ship, I think we can assume that the attackers were not airborne drones, but rather naval drones of the Magura type. This would prove that now a flotilla of drones operated by the defenders is operating in the Sea of Azov, whose shores are under the control of the invaders. This is very bad news for Ivan. The ship was carrying stolen wheat from occupied Ukrainian territories to the port of Kavkaz, where it is re-exported to third countries, passing it off as Russian grain. Ukrainian intelligence services reported that they are tracking the movement of 6 grain transport ships doing the same job, and that they will probably receive the same attention very soon. Rescue teams located the severely damaged and charred hull and towed it to the coast of Russia's Krasnodar region. 2 severely burned bodies were recovered on board, bringing the number of confirmed deaths to 3. Meanwhile, at the front, reconnaissance drone operators from the 15th Union Black Forest Artillery Reconnaissance Brigade located a Zoopark 1M counter-battery radar system belonging to the Horde. Apparently, it was in its safe resting area, since its operators were constantly moving to a hidden position among the trees. Once the drones confirmed that the target in the forest was a high-value system, they sent a loitering munition, which managed to leave the radar severely damaged and inoperable, allowing the brigade's artillery to launch a precision attack with live ammunition. This was followed by an attack with heavy bombardments by the Lazar group, who completed the task of neutralizing the system. The Zoopark 1M is valued at approximately $24 million and is one of Russia's most advanced mobile systems, since its function is to detect and locate enemy artillery positions, providing critical trajectory data for correcting the fire of Russian batteries. Its destruction represents a significant setback for the Horde's counter-battery capabilities, limiting their ability to quickly respond to Ukrainian artillery fire. So you don't think everything is going badly for Ivan? In this video, we can see how an extremely lucky invader comes out unscathed from a close encounter of the third kind with a mutant mosquito from the steppes. One of his comrades filmed the entire sequence on his helmet-mounted GoPro camera. This guy should have died again, Corridoro, since he used up all the luck he had saved up for the next 10 years. If you want to see additional content about the war in Ukraine, I invite you to visit our 2 new channels where we present information about the war in a different format. Don't forget to check them out. Remember to visit our Patreon, where for just $1, you'll have access to a large number of uncensored videos and documentaries. Lastly, visit our store, where you can find our items inspired by some of Ukraine's most outstanding units. Carry history with you, and with every purchase, you'll be supporting the United 24 program, which directly supports reconstruction programs, aid to the civilian population, and defense. Remember to like and subscribe to the channel.